I know I only get 10 seconds to capture your attention. I'm asking for 30. I promise the discoveries in this video are worth it. I play viola with Beo String Quartet. We were giving a talk at a chamber music festival on what was supposed to be a simple presentation about a single movement of music. In prepping for this, some astounding and goosebump-inducing discoveries were made that led to the title of this video. I've cut down the full presentation into just the important bits that help set this up, so you can experience a journey similar to what we went through ourselves, as did all of the festival goers.
Everyone from here to here.
We always like to start with a set piece, something that makes everyone involved and makes them realize that we're going to be having this an interactive time together.
Ready? Here we go. Ones. Ready? Go. Row, row, row your boat.
It's time for your entrance.
Keep going. Wonderful. I love being at a music festival. We can sing it in tune and together. It's awesome. All right. We just did collectively a form of counterpoint. This is a round or a canon, and a counterpoint is just as simply, it's a way music is organized. A lot of the time, this is called something else, imitation. Let's listen to some imitation.
On stage with us is my former violin teacher, mentor, and dear friend, John Rumney. He was integral to finding some of these discoveries, and it was just a treat to get to share the stage with him. We're just listening to some imitation on screens on either side of the stage that you can't see.
Oh, Dr. Rumney, I noticed that there happens to be an organ on stage. I wonder if you could just play something for us since it's here. All right. What is that? Okay. I know, ask a dumb question. Okay. What did he just play? A hymn? Okay, a hymn needs singing.
So we've introduced the two main concepts, imitation and the hymn or chorale.
Lovely.
We're about to play the opening of the movement that this is actually about. All of the correct notes and all of the correct order are going to be there. We're not changing any of that, but we are going to change some of the instrumentation to help get our point across, as you're going to hear in 1 second here.
Beethoven Opus 132, third movement. What were we? Imitation or hymn? Imitation. What was the organ? Imitation or hymn? Okay. Just went back and forth, right? Imitation, first part. Back and forth. And where we just arrived at is the new strength. That's the back of your t-shirt. When this new strength, first section, comes to a close, do we go back to something familiar? Or do we continue to develop? Do we go on?
Now we're in the thick of the presentation proper that we gave, where we're really breaking down what's happening in the actual third movement and go section by section. I've trimmed this down so we can focus on what's about to happen. But I am going to show you just a little bit of it, again, to help set up what's about to happen.
Let's find out. We're going to start right there with the same idea. So, anything familiar in this section? The imitation, what else is familiar? Isn't it the same chorale? Did you notice that every time Jason came in on this time, happened to coincide with every time Dr. Rumney came in? Then there was a lot of times where both of them dropped out, we're left with just the three of us. The imitation was there, but it sounded different. Here, Beethoven ups it a level. It's more elaborate counterpoint. That counterpoint, this time, continues throughout the chorale. this is the basic construction of this third movement. It takes 18 to 20 minutes to unfold. Dr. Rumney, I'm wondering, what are the late string quartets?
Okay, now we're starting the big ramp up to the reveal.
Beethoven wrote 16 string quartets. Very, very, very unique works. And they're organized now as in 3 groups: early, middle, and late. There are 6 late string quartets, Opus 127 through 135. They're playing 132. He was writing way ahead of his time. Remember that Beethoven was deaf at this point. Everything was heard just in his head. It wasn't until probably centuries later that people started respecting these works.
Jason, when was this one written?
1825.
1825. We started today with a really beautiful piece. You found that piece for us. Who was that by?
Ave Ma, French composer named Josquin. That was written in 1485, before Columbus came over here. 1485.
Ryan, can you remind us, what does Beethoven write at the top of the third movement?
Holy song of thankfulness from a convalescing person to the godheit, the godness, the divinity.
Jason, can you play just the chorale melody from the Beethoven for us? And before that, we sang what we called a hymn. Could you play just the soprano melody line of that hymn?
It's almost exactly the same.
You found this.
The melody was written in 1587, but Bach harmonized it in 1723. I just found it when I looked at number 93, and that was the hymn that we all sang.
John, Bach's harmonization of that tune is their text.
Glad you asked. This night, when the dark shadows had surrounded me completely, God was my defense.
Remember this?
Holy song of thankfulness.
That was the title Beethoven gave this movement.
This is a hymn of thanksgiving. Coincidence?
We have a piece that was written in 1825, a method of composition that was being explored as early as the 1400s, even earlier, but we'll say that for now. Then we have this chorale that's written in the 1500s. It's harmonized in the 1700s. We're going to perform it in 2024. When we think of music, we think of a piece that Beethoven wrote. We think he wrote it here. But the life of that work is not here. The life of that work is 300, 400 years before, all the way to today. That is that life of that work. And this thread that moves along this line of art and music is our greatest resource. How we think of time, which is linear, it's the only way we can experience it. And we think of, as we move forward, we're progressing and we're getting more innovative, we're more progressive. But I'm not sure that that's the truth. And one of the things that allows us to at least explore it is music and art. Because as the arrow of time moves forward, everything that's been before does not render as obsolete. That is a through line of humanity. It's the base in human, the connection of people who died and are long gone, us now, and the people who have not been born yet. We can all be connected through art and through music.
The time that elapsed from when we put on this presentation to when I released this video is about 2 months. And in that time, I haven't been able to stop thinking about this. This idea that this amazing, beautiful masterwork was not written in a silo. It was written with full awareness of what has come before it. And in fact, reaching back in time to be able to fully address the poetic nature of the gratitude that Beethoven had. I really don't believe that this is coincidence. I'm very convinced he was aware of this. Here's another piece that shows how you can have these kind of connections in music.